going to talk about 5 benefits of audio branding and why you should be listening in to what can help amplify your brand in a greater way. Let's do this. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Bite Size Marketing Hack Podcast, where you get the confidence to hack your marketing 5 minutes at a time. Hey guys, my name is Mark.
My name is Rashawn.
And welcome to the Bite Size Marketing Hack Podcast. It is great to be with you. And there's a lot of different aspects of your marketing that we get you plugged into. And today we're going to talk about audio. And this is as important as anything else. Sometimes we can neglect or set that aside, but it's actually trending like crazy. So here's some helpful insights and tips to audio branding that you need to know about. So Rashawn, you want to take us into this?
Definitely, Mark. Let's jump into it, and absolutely love, how important audio has become over time via, social media, just anywhere we are. As eyes begin to move away, eyes can be fleeting at times, but ears will be attentive. And I just think it's so important for us to understand how people recognize sounds and how sounds can potentially connect us and connect our audience deeper into our brand, or the brand we desire. So number one, I wanted to share a bit about how, one, we need to create a distinctive and memorable brand identity. And I love what Gary V says, and he said this: sonic branding is the audio equivalent of a brand's username.
That's good.
If a company plays their tag alongside advertisements or content that match their brand's positioning, eventually that audio tag by itself will conjure up the attended feelings around that brand. The right audio tag will carry strong brand associations across other media. So basically, I just think that it's so powerful when you position your brand to go alongside advertisement or content that you believe in. And I think it's valuable, Mark.
Yeah, I watch Gary V's stuff, and I know what he's talking about here, because when you watch his stuff, and it'll have just this, it'll show his signature. For those of you who know Gary V, he's got this kind of memorable signature, but then there's a sound that you hear in the background. And when you hear that sound, he's trying to get us, it's like, for those of you who studied psychology, that Pavlov's dog, it's like when you hear this noise, you know to go for the treat, right?
True,
so it's almost like that's what we're doing. Like when we get that noise in there, it's like, oh, this is going to be something that Gary V is all about. And so he's connecting the noise with the content. So very strategic.
I love that. And point number two, what they point us to is create another way to amplify your brand's values. Speaking from the standpoint of audio branding, it requires a system of sounds based on what does that say, bro?
Proprietary audio.
Proprietary
DNA.
audio. DNA that expresses your brand's values and personality. And I love that, so it has to be these touch points that brings a consistent feel from your advertisement to, whatever messaging you have going out, even through website training videos and YouTube. You just want this consistent sort of advertising through your content and videos that everyone can be like, that's their brand, that's this brand, no matter where they are.
That's it. Yeah, and I was thinking about, we were talking about this before we hit record today, just about some of what Rashawn's got in the works with podcasts. He's got some new stuff coming down the pike. It's awesome. But in that, it's like, it's really important to like, what kind of music, what kind of sounds am I going to pick? Because it represents your values. And so like if Rashawn was doing Scripture and Stories podcast, and it's like this really like moody, dark, minor key kind of sounding thing that's like really intense, and it doesn't fit with what he's trying to get across. And so it really is important that your sound represent the values. And sometimes we don't even think about that, but there are ways that we can pick sounds and music and those kinds of things that actually like enhance the kind of things we're trying to get across. So totally agree.
Love it. Love it. And I love number three, impact your customer's mood. You know, anybody, just like you were talking about, anybody knows when you sort of go on Netflix and you turn on, or you even put the cursor over a movie and you can hear this gory, horrific music, and you're
Yes.
like, man, I want to stay away from that. This even takes me deeper into my dark depression or my
Yep.
despair. I don't want to get near there. But or you can go to like a video that has it's a nature video or a romantic video and it
Yeah.
has the stress relieving style
Yeah.
music. And I think that's the same way with the brand. Like it really is important the way we sort of allow, you know, our music to connect with our people. We want it to reduce stress, not to bring stress,
Yep.
but also be consistent with our brand. So
Home run, dude. That's it. Got nothing to add on that one.
awesome. Awesome. And number four is impact your customers' willingness to pay. And you know, as a study has been showed, man, I need help from yeah. What is his name, Mark? You
DJ
good at
Kumar Krishan.
okay, yeah. I'm lost on that one. But he showed that the number of tones that make up an audio logo can have an impact on people's willingness to pay. And I think that's really cool. Like the number of tones that make up an audio logo can have an impact on people's willingness to pay. That's interesting. I don't know specifically if I've ever experienced this personally. I may have and not even known about it, but is there anything you would say about that one, bro? Like that comes to mind? That's
That's
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, I haven't looked into that. I think most of the clients that I've worked with where I've created some of that like audio tone, because I have done a little bit of this, has been one tone or a couple of tones to kind of like, or sounds even. But that's an interesting, I mean, they did some research. There's a reason why one's six notes is performing better than a longer or than a shorter than that. It's just that sweet spot. So, man,
Yeah.
I guess worth trying and testing out with some different people and see what they like.
Love it. Yes, sir. And then number one, our number five, our final one, increase trust in your brand. And it basically goes into a brand's most important asset is trust. And the best way to earn trust is to behave in a consistent manner, which is
Oh, that's
so
good.
true. And she basically, Colleen basically says there's a well-designed audio DNA that centers a brand sound and it infuses the execution of music at the brand's touch points. A focused approach to your own sound can bring a congruity to brand experiences that are that's trust that helps build trust. So then does the or does use licensed music. Man, my bad. This small showing up on my screen, but what do you take from this one, Mark?
My takeaway from this one, apart from all the $5 words they're using, they got all these like big
Yeah, it's
vocabulary
like
words, right?
wow, they're all over. I'm like,
But yeah, apart from that, is that like I think about the brands that I really connect with, and it's like when I can hum their catchphrase and their
uh-huh.
like their jingle in my head, and I know it. That that like brings them to mind, and when they use
Mm,
that over and over and over again, it brings it to mind, but it doesn't just bring it to mind. It helps me to like believe that I'm going to get the same experience every time that I go to them.
that's
And I think that's
good.
something that we want when we go to a business or to a brand. We want to expect to get a certain product or result and then get that. And so
Yes.
consistent sound, consistent anything communicates you can trust us, you're going to get what you're looking for here.
So good. So true. And yeah, that's what we're talking about, guys, that building that consistent trust and increasing, you know, sort of the brand consistency rather than confusion.
That's
So
it.
that being said, Mark, I think, man, we hit home on a lot of these points and I'm excited to see how everybody's going to get started.
Yes, that's it. as Rashawn always says, yeah, I think that's something we just need to hear again and again, and we say it a lot, but we gotta move towards action in this stuff, because in the marketing space, you become an expert, you become good at it by doing it, and we'd
Yeah.
love to help you in that, but for you to get going, you've got to start somewhere. So just get started. I just will echo that.
Awesome. Well, guys, go ahead, rate, review, and subscribe. We really appreciate you guys, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
See you guys. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. And visit us at bitesizemarketinghacks.com for more resources and episodes